and VTM lead of Women Tech Makers London. She will be with us with leadership, diversity and inclusion talk.
Thank you. And thanks for having me here. This is my first visit to Istanbul as well. So I'm Jen Ashley. Oh, hang on, let's see. Okay. I'm actually retired now, and most of my days are actually taken up by the advocacy work that I do on the women in tech space. So I'm currently the director of Women Who Code in London, and I'm also one of the leads at Women Tech Makers London, and we just had our similar event last March 12. I'm also one of the lead for ADIS List. ADIS List is another networking group for women in technology in London, and I'm involved with other things. I'm on Twitter as Coder in Heels because I code, and I'm always wearing high heels because I'm not really that tall. I've got a degree in mathematics and applied mathematics, and I used to work for Citigroup for a long time. When I started, I was actually a software developer, and I was just chatting to Elif earlier. I was telling her that actually we used to use COBOL and Kick, so they're quite old languages, but they're still using it currently apparently. So I was with Citigroup for a long time, and I retired early. And the idea was to, rest and enjoy life. But I'm just not the type of person who can just sit and do nothing. So instead of actually retiring, I bought a small money transfer company like Western Union, but a smaller version of it. And at the same time, I was also running other, businesses like a travel agency. We had a newspaper publishing business as well as an e-commerce site. I get bored easily, as you probably can tell by now. That's why I'm always multitasking. So after doing that for like 5-6 years, I retired again. Again, the idea is to rest, but as I said, I just can't just sit and do nothing. So I was, on my second retirement, I was saying to myself, what am I going to do with my time now? And someone mentioned meetup.com to me, and I actually initially ignored it. I didn't even log onto the website because I thought it was a dating site, but actually it's not. And someone mentioned that there are tech events there, and this is the only time I actually checked out meetup.com. So I ended up attending a lot of meetups in London, and eventually was leading some of the meetup groups there. And obviously this is like the typical picture that I've seen, and I'm sure it's the same here in Turkey. So it's highly male dominated. So I was running some of these groups, and sometimes there's an event where there's like 100 plus attendees, and I'm the only woman, and I'm the organizer. So, obviously it's not representative of the population that we're building software or devices for. I think this one was at Facebook. It was a React.js meetup, and there were like 300 plus attendees, and there were like 5 or 6 women. I went to an Apple conference in San Francisco, saw some female developers there, which was great. But this was the picture that I saw when we were going to the main hall. So again, it's not representative of the people we're building software and devices for. So I said to myself, why don't I just focus my energy and resources in supporting women in technology, because I think that's where we need to do a bit, more work. So I actually joined Women Who Code back in 2014, and Women Who Code is actually a non-profit that started in San Francisco in 2011. We're now in 20 countries and 60 plus cities, and we've got around 137,000 members globally. So it's growing quite rapidly. And I also got involved with Google Women Tech Makers, and you're all familiar with Google Women Tech Makers. Again, ADIS List. ADIS List is really a London-based networking group, but it's expanding to other cities as well. And we have this group because of Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace is the first programmer. Some people will probably argue that she is actually not the first programmer, but it's Charles Babbage, which she used to work with. But if you look at history, she actually is the first programmer, and we should celebrate that. Typical picture, again, in conferences is like this. And I think we shouldn't really be having this anymore. There should be diversity and inclusivity in terms of like panels and speakers at conferences. So I always encourage women to actually go get up there and be in front and be speaking so that we can represent women in technology. So this was like an example of a conference where they're talking about women's issues, but look at the panel. They have to cancel this event because there were a lot of criticism. Again, another event talking about women in maths, but there's no women on the panel. So I think we need to change that because that's not the right picture. So in London, we do a lot of workshops like this, all free workshops where we actually upskill women. I think this was, we're developing on the Apple Watch Kit. And this was an Android watch workshop at Google in London. Some of the activities that we've run in the past. Again, the idea is to really just encourage more women to get involved and support women who are already in the industry, and actually to welcome more women who are interested into getting into tech. And give them the support that they need. Some of the workshops that we do, these are all beginners. I'm always very particular about making sure that we are welcoming of beginners, because at the end of the day, we've all been beginners ourselves. So these women are, coming from like different backgrounds. I think there was a solicitor attending this event, and there was like a GP. Attending this, a doctor attending this event as well. Because for me it's very satisfying to see that we're encouraging more women into technology, and it's always good to see their happy faces when they're able to do some even simple things like building a web page. Because for some women, just hearing about the word tech is scary enough. It's like a wall that they think they cannot break, into. But if we give them the support that they need, I think we will be able to at least change the ratio, little by little. We're not going to be able to solve the problem overnight, but at least we're doing something now. Okay. So as I said, I'm just not the type of person who can just sit and do nothing. So aside from smaller meetups, I actually organized a conference called Tech No Day. And the idea is to bring together women in tech, the women in tech community in London. And I'm actually going to be extending this to other cities as well. But I'm just going to show you the conference so you've got an idea of what we're doing over in London. Sorry. Okay, it's here. So last March we had our very first Techno Day, a brand new event that was focused on women in technology.
This is actually what NASA do. Meetings on Mars.
You want to write code to learn how to solve a problem.
She never ever fails because she believes in what she's offering the client.
If you're a woman initiating your startup or currently thinking about it, this is a great opportunity for you to learn, network, and get great tips from the women-led startups who are going to be there.
I'm a broadcast journalist.
My profession is marketing.
My profession is teaching.
I'm a developer and improvement director.
I'm Italian, and in Italy there's nothing like this.
I went for the HTML CSS workshop. Amazing. I did one of the beginning workshops, the Ruby one, it was really good.
The free workshops and results were all fantastic, very inspirational.
Specifically hearing from lots of really empowered women that have gone out and have done these kinds of things, that it's possible.
There's going to be a lot of workshops, and you might even have the opportunity to find your first co-founder or your first developer.
It was great. I didn't expect the room to be packed and people standing in the back, and it was full.
If you're a student, this is a great time for you to connect with amazing companies that are going to be present that day.
It's been a really, really amazing.
I think I want to start to code now.
Totally insightful, and I feel really confident this is something we can do.
This event is totally free to attend. All you need to do is go to the website, register, and we'll see you at Techno Day on October 10th. So the idea for that conference, as I said, is to bring together the women in tech ecosystem in London. It's a free conference, obviously supported by sponsors, because it's not a joke to actually put together a conference. You have to pay for venues and the other bits that go with it. But it's a free conference because the last thing I want to see is for the ticket cost to be a barrier for women to access the talks and the workshops that we offer. I think the last time we offered 40 workshops, all hands-on workshops. So it's a busy, busy day, and I'm always encouraging, as I said, beginners to get involved as well, not just women already in the industry. Why am I doing this? Really, I just want to be able to turn that dial and help change the ratio. As I said, little by little. I'm not looking to change the world overnight, but at least we're doing something about it now. Obviously, this is not the right picture anymore, so we need to change that. And if we're not going to do this now, when are we going to do it? Sorry. We cannot change the past, obviously, but we can change the future. And we just need to keep moving forward. And I know we can do it, especially with the help of allies. Allies are very important. So all the guys in the room right now, you hopefully are allies. Because this is really not just our sort of fight, but I think everyone needs to get involved to help change the ratio. And I'm just going to leave you with this short video, which really kind of inspired me to do a lot more work to support women in technology. You might have seen this before. Sorry. Buffering.
Twitter's user base, it reflects basically all of humanity.
There's no doubt in my mind that technology jobs are critical to every part of the economy, every part of the way we live, the way we work.
If we are somehow subtly or systemically excluding women, we are really cutting down on the size of the workforce.
Computer science is changing our whole world. Unfortunately, it's a very undiverse field. It's actually quite simple.
Sorry about that.
Segregated. This is both a gender as well as an ethnicity issue.
It's when the idea of the nerd genius came to the fore, and that's exactly when women started declining in their representation.
We imagine someone sort of sitting at a keyboard typing all day. We don't realize how much design and creativity goes into making software.
You don't have to be antisocial. You don't have to want to not sleep. You don't have to want to spend all of your time with a computer. You don't have to be male.
I think people are sometimes surprised when I tell them I work in computer science, just because it is a male-dominated industry.
As someone who studied rocket science, I can tell you that coding is not rocket science.
Writing software is just a tool to actually go build something cool that you want to build.
To be able to just build a product from the ground up, to make something exist where it didn't exist before, has been really exciting.
There's so many programs and websites now where you can just teach yourself.
It was actually a really important thing for us as a company to establish having women on the team. The greater the empathy you have with the people that are trying to use the product, the better the product is.
I absolutely think that women can be just as great as men at programming. And the great thing is I can look the way I do, I can wear lipstick and write just as good code as you, and people need to be comfortable with that.
The conferences, there's been sexually explicit comments made towards speakers, towards attendance. It's gross. It's despicable.
We're not seen as part of the boys club.
There's this assumption there that I brought the coffee.
People would assume I was a recruiter or talk down to me. I can't think of a single software product that would only be used by men. So it's hard to imagine that it would be appropriate to have any team that was only men, or only women for that matter.
Important mantra is you are not your user.
Unfortunately, the first round of airbags killed a lot of women and children. And it turns out that The airbags were developed for the average specs of the engineer on the team, and those engineers happen to all be white men.
You have to be impatient. You have to say, this has to happen now, we have to do what we can now, whatever it takes to move the number now, we have to do that now.
So that's really all I have, and as I said, I hope that everyone in the room, everyone who might be watching this video afterwards, are going to be doing more to help support women who are in tech and get more women to get into technology. Thank you very much again. Are there any questions?
We have a C# book.
It's okay. If there is a book.
Yeah.
Which one? The C#, sorry. C#. How do we choose? Do they just raise a hand? Oh, maybe someone's raising her hand.
Thank you one more time. And we have planting sapling on top of you.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll come back in years and see if it's good. Thank you.
Arkadaşlar şimdi bir aramız var. Dışarı çıktığınızda sandviç meyve sularını alabilirsiniz.